Hello, 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 everybody. It's Susie McMahon coming to you from North Carolina for a change instead of South Carolina in a lovely property right outside of the Raleigh Durham Airport. But hi, everyone. Today, I'm so excited to introduce my friend from high school down below there, Michael Lucker. Welcome, Michael.
Hello.
Hello. And Francine, my group expert, is here from Virginia, and she is going to kick it off tonight with Michael's bio. Go for it.
Thank you, Susie. Welcome, Michael. Michael Lucker is a professional screenwriter and professor of screenwriting with 15 years experience writing for major studios and 15 years experience lecturing at major colleges. He began his career writing cable commercials while earning his undergraduate degree in broadcasting and film at Boston University College of Communication. Soon after he landed in Los Angeles, working in production for ABC, NBC, CBS, and HBO before taking a job as an assistant to Steven Spielberg at Amblin Entertainment on the feature films Always, Indiana Jones, and The Last Crusade in Jurassic Park. Recently, Michael was hired to adapt award-winning children's books series Freeing Freddy by FTM Media, write the feature thriller. A renowned instructor in screenwriting, Michael serves as a lecturer at the University of North Georgia, mentor in Reinhardt University's Creative Writing MFA program, and founder of Screenwriters School. In 2017, the Georgia Film Academy hired him to create a high school screenwriting curriculum, which has since been taught to more than 15 students in the state. Welcome, Michael. We are so glad to have you here to interview you and talk to you tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, where are you? Are you in Georgia right now?
Before we get into that, I should just check one thing on Francine's abbreviation of my bio. Nice job on that.
Okay, go for it.
However, the curriculum that I helped design to be taught to students in high schools in Georgia has now taught 15,000 of them how to write screenplays, not just 15. So I want to make sure
sorry about that.
That's okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows.
I was a little nervous. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you made that correction.
Yeah. Thank you. So I am coming to you live from North Georgia. I live about an hour north of Atlanta by a big lake at the foothills of the mountains and close to breweries and wineries that they let me come and type in. And I'm very happy here. So thank you.
I love North Georgia. Anyway, so small backstory. Michael and I attended Chamblee High School in Atlanta, Georgia. When did we graduate? 1984. How old are we? We're not going to talk about
it. I'm not saying anything about that. Yeah.
So I'm so excited we're here talking about this today. So can you tell me a little bit about the backstory of when you decided to write your novel and just kind of give us an overview at this point? The book's not out. It's going to be out July 8th. And tell everybody the backstory, and then Francine will throw you a question. Go for it.
Sure. Well, building on what Francine shared, I was in Los Angeles having some luck and some success writing movies. And then I got sick and I started going to doctors and nobody could figure out why. And no doctors could make me better and some made me worse. And I went on this journey to try and get healthy. And that is what brought me back home to Georgia. And I did find doctors that got me healthy. And figured out that I was living in a moldy house in the South Bay of California that just kind of basically got into my immune system and ravaged my body. And it was a long, painful journey. And along the way, I always wished the doctors I was trying to convince that I had one symptom or another would understand and be able to relate to what I was sharing, and not all of them could. And rule one is a thriller that teaches them just that. And it's basically, in a nutshell, about an FBI agent hunting a serial killer who's hunting doctors across America.
Wow. That's intense.
Thank you
That
very
is
much. Well,
intense.
it's funny though too. I bring sort of a sardonic, twisted, irreverent wit to all the scenes, all the pages, all the
I bet
chapters.
you do. I bet you do. Is there a little bit of rock and roll involved at all, or any kind of that?
No, I keep that separate.
Okay.
I grew up playing in bands, Susie knows, and I still play in bands to let my yayas out on the weekend. But there's no music. Actually, I will say there
Yeah.
is a scene. I talk in movie talk. I talk in scenes. I should talk in chapters. There are some chapters that involve Nashville, and you can't do Nashville without doing music. So that some of my experience bleeds into those pages. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And I may not do this perfect. I'm just going to pull I can see your poster in the background, but I just want to show everyone the cover of
Sure.
your book.
Hey.
Ooh.
So there it
Ooh,
is. I'm
nice.
sorry to block you out. So
That's
tell me
okay.
about the cover. Or Francine, it's your turn to ask a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Francine.
No, that's okay. You can do the cover and then I'll do the next question. Yeah.
Okay,
I want to know about the cover too.
Yeah, Mike, tell us about the cover. I think you just told us, but tell us who developed it or.
Sure. Well, I was fortunate in finding a wonderful publishing house called Wordy Publishing and Media based in New York. And I met them through the Atlanta Writers Conference, and they got to know me and they got to know my background and my experience. And I shared the book with them and they flipped and they said, we would love to publish your book. And I had the whole book done, but I hadn't done a cover yet. And that's one of the wonderful things that they brought to the table. And they have a whole host of designers that they work with. And they were kind enough to ask me what I sort of envisioned. And I told them it's a thriller set, with a backdrop in healthcare. And of course, they knew the story. But I wanted the cover to have some sort of menace and danger and threat to it, but I also wanted it to kind of have some wit about it, and I also wanted it to have ambiguity with regard to the sexual orientation, because I didn't want it to cater too much to a male audience or too much to a female audience. I wanted it to be something that everybody can enjoy. So that was like my suggestions that I gave to them just as quickly as I gave to you in 30 seconds. And then they came back to me a week later with 5 really cool designs. And the one that you just showed just blew me away. It wasn't anything I was expecting. And I love the mystery of it, the intrigue of it. And I thought they did a really nice job with the color scheme. And now it's out all over the place, and will soon be on people's doorsteps in 2 weeks. So
That's coming up fast. Okay, Francine, it's your turn. Go for it.
One thing about the cover, that's going to jump off the shelves because it's an eye catcher. Like, I think that's my personal opinion. I mean,
thank you. You know what happened, Francine, is when I got the cover samples in, I shared them with a few friends and authors and PRE people and said, what do you think? What do you think? And one of the author friends I shared it with said, oh, you want the one with the guy walking with the gun on the cover because that's what all thriller novels have. And I knew right then that that's exactly what I did not want my thriller to have. I wanted it to be different. So thank you for that.
You nailed it. Y'all nailed it. So anyway, how long did it take you to actually write the book? Like and then the second part of the question is, tell us about your writing process. Did you write from start to finish, or did you write it in pieces?
Sure. Well, I was able to apply a little bit of what I've learned by writing screenplays over the years in terms of, structure and what I teach, in screenwriting with regard to outlining and having treatments and understanding your beginning, middle, end, and plot points. So I kind of was building that in my head and using my own journey of searching for health in the cities that I literally went to try and find it. So that was sort of the spine of my story. And it was knocking around in my brain, but not until COVID hit and classes at the university where I teach went online and went asynchronous. And I suddenly found that I had a little more time on my hands. And I found one cute little coffee shop in Flowery Branch, Georgia, that stayed open during COVID. And I used to go in there in the mornings, and I kind of got into a little groove where I would go in 3 or 4 days a week, and I would have like a cup of coffee and like a Danish, and I would write about an hour or two. And I just started hacking away at it. This is after I had my outline and my structure. So at that point, I would go in each day and just kind of like knock away at chapter 1, and knock away at chapter 2, and just go on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And then I finished a rough draft of it, and then I went through the steps of sharing it with smart people, doctors and law enforcement and authors, getting feedback that would allow me to hone it to make it credible and authentic and professional for presentation to potential agents and publishing houses.
Awesome. That's cool. Hey, so I've got a little banner here in case anybody's just joining. So why don't you summarize that for us, Mike? Tell us
Sure.
how everybody can find your book and where they can buy it and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure. So this is my first novel. I've written one other book about how to write screenplays, and that's called Crash Boom Bang, How to Write Action Movies. And that was published a few years ago, and that's available all over. And when I got the opportunity to do this one, the publishing house in New York said, we can get it everywhere. And I was like, fantastic. Awesome. So it's available everywhere. So it's available in print. It's available in digital starting on July 8th worldwide. I've already got people pre-ordering it in Australia and Europe and Asia, which is very exciting. And looks good on the algorithms, I'm told.
I bet it looks good on the algorithms.
And I'm blessed in that a very well-known and respected narrator named Richard Poe, who has done lots of great novels, has signed on to do the audiobook. And that will be available on July 22nd on all platforms. Everybody's asking me, will it be on Spotify? Will it be here? Will it be there? And I found out that these guys know what they're doing, and it'll be available everywhere.
That's amazing. So, I can't wait to see how fast you're like Amazon's #1 book. I want to tell you, I saw that happen with a previously featured author from Colorado. Her name's Lynn Young. Yeah. I knew her from a wellness kind of COVID. It was called Badass Sagers. We were old women not old, but older, doing our second acts and gigs, and we got together for Zooms, and then she put together a book, and whoever helped her, she was the day she launched, she was #1 in 2 categories on Amazon, which I was like, wow, I've never seen that. Okay, so as you know, I'm in the travel industry and I'm traveling. I'm going to put this on mute for a second because I have to do something urgent. Francine, you go ahead and continue talking, okay?
Okay, thanks, Susie. Okay. So in writing your book, did you have a particular character that was more difficult to write than others? And if you did, how did you handle that?
Well, the villain was born out of my own experience, so I could pull from me for that. The hero that is pursuing him, I painted as a part of another side of my life, was based on sort of the challenges I've had with dysfunctional, toxic relationships. So I have the FBI agent saddled with the pain of my, social past, and I have the villain saddled with the pain of my physical past. Mm-hmm. And so writing the story was very cathartic for me because it allowed me to express all that angst and trauma into the pages. But then, as I said, I traveled across the country to different medical facilities and saw different physicians in different areas of expertise to help me try and get better. And I could pull from all of them, whether they were male or female, young or old, black or white, city folk or country folk. And I could use seeds of those experiences and those characters to help paint the picture for the novel. I've changed all the names to protect the innocent and maybe the not so innocent, but I was able to use that as a jumping off point for crafting everybody.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to follow up with something because you've got my curiosity about toxic relationships or been hurt or pain. We all got some kind of story probably with that. I know I do. And they say it's very cathartic to write about that. And so I've often thought maybe that's what I should do with a couple situations that I've been hurt by. Did you feel like that helped heal you in some way?
Sure. I mean, as a writer, I've found that to be true. As a writing professor, I encourage my students to do that and enjoy the freedom and release that comes from pouring their pain on the page. And frankly, it'll create more emotional, authentic experience for the reader if they're writing based on what they know, But doing that for me in this book was incredibly gratifying because so often when we're stuck in challenges or trauma or difficulty, we see with tunnel vision, right? And we're trying to get our way out of the tunnel the best we can. But what happens is when you start writing about it, whether it's in a journal or a novel or poetry or songs, it sometimes allows you to put it down and look at it from 30,000 feet and have a little perspective on what you're going through that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay. You've just opened my eyes, Sue.
Yeah, well, I'd like to talk off of that. So this last year, Francine, at the Low Country Literary and Leisure Getaway in Beaufort and in Fripp, we did the first writers workshop, and Rebecca Dwight Bruff hosted, along with Carolyn Mason, who taught at the University of Alabama. I won't hold it against her anyway. And it was out on Fripp Island, and there were 6 to 8 of us. I can't remember exactly. And I've always journaled, but the way that they put together the 1.5 days out by the beach and beautiful nature and one of my favorite places in the world was one of the most gut-wrenching, cathartic experiences I've gone through. But I was going back to my mom's health. I probably went back to my own health issues that I had in high school and stuff, but I went back to my mom's accident on Hilton Head and just a lot of historical stuff, just because they gave these incredible prompts. We went off and wrote, came back, and I was stunned just by our getaway guests, the amazing stories that were coming out, and everybody was really supportive of one another. And I was just like, wow, I guess this does work. I mean, you're able to add the senses to it. Add all your senses. Go ahead.
It's been interesting to me what I've learned in my journey of pursuing health in terms of a traditional Western medicine and also sort of the mainstays of more progressive Eastern medicine. And if you look at our bodies, our minds as, composed of energy and molecules, if you're expressing, any of the trauma that's embedded in you in one shape or form through any functional outlet, it kind of helps heal, I think, literally, the toxic energy within you. It helps get it out of the system. It's one of the reasons therapy is so helpful, right? You go to therapy, you might say some things, and the therapist is helpful and constructive and telling you how or helping you find the answer to how to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they don't say anything, you just expressing it and getting it out of your system and bringing it from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind and out of your mind and out of your body, I think is very healing. And one of the things I found in my journey was that in order to heal from chronic illness, you really need to work on all three legs of the stool. You need to be handling the physical symptoms. You need to be looking at emotional symptoms and dealing with those, and also spiritual symptoms. And if you can like tackle all three of those, which is what I did and what I found for me, I think it's an easier way to try and get healthy than just tackling one of them.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with you. That's one of the reasons why I do a lot of wellness travel trips. The place I'm sitting in right now, oh my gosh, it's a gem. Headed to the spa later if I get all my work done. So,
Susie, you could have invited Francine and I. We could have just met there. And
I did. Okay, next time I will, because anyway, we need 2 beds. But it just
aren't you in Raleigh? Like you're less
come on
than
down.
three
How fast of a drive? So I flew up here yesterday because I needed to work, and I went through Nashville. It was a rock and roll, lovely airport to go through. Okay, back to your book, Mike.
Okay.
Where is your first book event after your book is released? What state?
So the kind folks from the Whole Bean Cafe in Flowery Branch, Georgia, who let me write most of the book there, insisted that I hold my book launch party there. So I'm returning to the scene of the crime, if you will. So the book comes out worldwide July 8th, but the following Saturday, July 12th, we're holding a big soiree there. I will have piles of books. They will have piles of coffee and danishes, and everyone is invited if you're in the Atlanta area or the North Georgia area and like to come. And then there's an after party at the pub across the street.
Ooh,
that sounds fun.
So that's where Ground Zero is. That's where we're starting this adventure. And then I'm fortunate in that we're lining up a variety of cities for me to go and do book readings and book signings, including I think right now we have Tampa, St. Pete area is on the list, Nashville, New York, and Los Angeles, and we are now booking Chicago. So those are the first ones I hope to get to in the next few months. I'm trying not to burn myself out too quickly. So.
And do you have a travel advisor, Michael?
I do not. Do you happen to know anyone that could help with that?
Me,
Excellent.
but I don't know. You gotta go luxury if you're gonna deal with me, though. I'm just kidding.
If only I had a travel advisor that knew the world of books and book promotion. That would be ideal because they could help me find a bookstore to speak in and also book my hotel and travel.
Wow, who could that be? I don't know. Anyway, so Francine, ask him about who he's reading and that kind of question.
Oh,
it's 12. Excuse me, it's not 12. We have about 12 minutes left.
Okay.
So who do you like to read? What's your genre for reading and what's on your nightstand?
Well, as you might imagine from the first book I wrote, Crash Boom Bang, How to Write Action Movies, I tend to lean toward action, adventure, thriller, suspense. Frankly, I have a short attention span and I need to be pulled in quickly and I need things to remain engaging. I need stakes to escalate for the heroes and I like twists and turns. So because of that, and because I was raised and reared on film and television, I tend to gravitate more towards movies and I read a lot of screenplays. So a lot of what I'm reading are things in that genre and in that format, whether it's the Mission Impossible content or the Bourne series or Matrix or John Wick. A lot of that kind of content is the stuff that I like to consume in some shape or form. And frankly, the stuff I read. I'm also covered up in reading screenplays from my students so often that that's literally what's sitting on my nightstand, you know. The authors that I love and aspire to be are those like Carl Hiaasen and Elmore Leonard and Kurt Vonnegut that bring a wicked wit to daily dysfunction and find a narrative structure to their stories, which keeps their readers engaged through solving a crime or a mystery or, you know, getting out of some impossible situation.
And to be drawn in from the first page.
Yeah. Truly.
That's
I'm the guy. My sister used to hate going to the movies with me because I'll watch 3 minutes of the movie.
Wendy.
Yeah. I'll be in the movie for 3 minutes, and if it looks dumb or confusing or boring, I'm kind of already looking at my watch and like eyeing the concession stand. I need to be pulled in quick, and I hope that my readers find that I adhere to these same principles in my writing. I try to pull you in quick, and then grab hold of you and not let you go.
Right on. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Well, I cannot wait to come back and tell you that you did that.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
All right, let's do it.
I got my first review on Amazon this morning.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
Yeah, tell us about it.
And if I can find it in my phone. Okay,
while you're looking, I'm going to tell you the last time I was in Norway, I was where Tom Cruise did the motorcycle thing, and they were telling me all about when that was being filmed. So yeah, I'm with you.
I would like to go there. Can you book me on that trip?
I can tell you exactly where it is for a fee.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is my first. Here's my first review on Amazon.
How exciting!
And it came in last night on the book. Literally, the book's not going out till July 8th. A few people have managed to like get books here and there, but it says 5 stars. I'm happy to report. And it says the headline is "You will not be able to put it down." Which is good.
That's a great way to start.
And then it says, this thriller is fast-paced with great plot twists and unforgettable characters. I could not put it down. It read like a movie. Go figure. in that it kept my attention so well that I forgot time. I highly recommend this book if you like to be entertained with a thriller story.
Oh, congratulations. That makes me so proud of you.
Thank you. And the best part is it was a physician that wrote.
Oh, cool.
That's even better.
He didn't say anything like it's inaccurate or anything like that. It was all positive. Fantastic. Yeah. So, good on you, as they say in Australia. Good on you.
I got to learn that one.
Good on you. I can teach you a few other, like in New Zealand, like when somebody says yes, they go, yeah, no, yeah. You're like,
really?
Yes or no? Yeah, no, yeah. So it's really confusing in conversation. You know. Anyway. Yeah. So I have another question before we wrap up. Not a question. I guess it is a question. So you and I have a few mutual friends that Francine knows, and I know, and they've all been involved in my virtual book club since 2020. There's 2 that I believe wrote blurbs for you. Can you talk about those 2 authors?
Sure. If you're speaking of Data Ridenauer, I met her at a writers conference in St. Simons, the Southeastern Writers Conference, I believe it's called. A number of years ago, and she and I just hit it off. We just enjoyed talking with one another. And then I found out she's a former FBI agent writing novels, and I was a screenwriter of FBI content, hoping to write novels. And so we worked together turning the hero in her trilogy, named a woman named Lexi Montgomery, that's based loosely on Dana's own adventures working in law enforcement. We developed that into a television pilot to be shopped to networks. And then, yes, when I finished my novel, she was one of the people that was kind enough to read it and offered to write a blurb. And it appears she really enjoyed it. And that makes me happy. And then William Walsh is probably the other one.
Yes, sir.
And so he is the director of the creative writing MFA program at Reinhardt University, where I am a mentor to the grad students. So they bring me in to help students work on their screenplays or work on their television scripts. And so I've been a part of Reinhardt and that program now since its inception, which was 10 years ago. And they invited me 2 weeks ago. Bill invited me, in fact, 2 weeks ago to come and do my first reading of my book. And I just got my box of books in.
Phone's ringing. Go ahead.
I just got my box of books in 2 days before that was happening. So I said to Bill, I go, can I bring some books? And he goes, yeah. So I took a box of books. There's 24 in there. And I just had them in case anybody wanted them. And I sold out. I read one chapter. And then afterward, everybody came up to me and everybody bought it. Not everybody, but everybody who I had a book for bought one. And so so it was great. And so now that they're really some of the first readers out there. And of course, some of the folks that wrote my blurbs. But they're getting out there. They're starting to get out. And I am grateful for everybody who's getting it and reading it. And I hope that they like it. And I hope it inspires them in their own health journey and inspires them, in ways of, creativity as well.
That's so wonderful. It's wonderful to hear. And I just wanted to pull up again the cover and also give me 1 second. I'm taking care of my wellness as well. Something's being dropped off right now. Hi.
Nice.
Anyway, so let me.
Mimosas, really at this time?
Yeah, she's fantastic. It's a little orange bag being delivered and dropped off. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to tip her because I'm sitting here. Anyway, okay. So let me just pull this up again. Media assets. Oh, hold on. Okay. First of all, here's the cover.
Yay.
Michael Lecker, Rule 1. Adent McCreary. We didn't even talk about it. How do you say his last name? McCreary. McCreary Mystery. And it comes out July 8th everywhere.
I've
never been able to say that since I've done this since 2020. It comes out everywhere, guys, girls, people, anywhere you are in the world. Get this man's book. He's a good friend. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, Michael/Day. Time zones are different all over the world. And Francine, thank you for joining us, today from Virginia. And I don't know what's next. Find it in the Facebook group. Look at the banner. You'll see after Michael's feature, there's another local author from Beaufort area, and we'll talk about that another time. So thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Francine.
Thank you, Michael.
Sure.
Thank you, Susie.
I hope
me
you're
know
New York Times bestseller, boy. I'm going to hang.
Let me know when y'all want to come to Richmond.
I will. Thank you.
I might go to Flowery Branch. I mean, it can't be that far from Savannah. So
That sounds like a fun. I wish I could, but I'm hosting a bridal shower that day. So
there's that.
And I got to go to Croatia a few days after that and then be overseas for the rest of the summer. But anyway.
So live your life, Susie McMahon. That's fantastic. We're all living vicariously through your posts. So
we certainly are, Michael, with her travels.
Right?
This one is in Virginia all the time. It was great to meet you. Thank you, Susie, for having me.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to end the recording now, and I'll post show notes for everybody, so you have links on where to buy everything. Thank you.
Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.